This is Maritime Radio.
Maritime Radio.
I'm Bethany and you are listening to the monthly Millwall Fans News and Views show, broadcasting live on Maritime Radio on 96.5 FM and on the Maritime website.
Hello and welcome to the monthly Millwall show at Maritime Radio. I'm Eamonn Barclay, your host from South Croydon. Interesting place to be today. And with me I have the panel of Jeff Burnige, a former Millwall board member and chairman from Richmond, a place where a fictitious football team exists that's out on the TV. Anyway, apart from that, then we've got our man from Swanley, George Lampey, and last but not least, Henry Morgan from Maidstone. These guys are long-standing Millwall fans with an extensive background in football broadcasting on a regional and national radio and podcast. However, in Jeff's case, he's a broadcaster to the Commonwealth. As usual, we will discuss all things Millwall. We will also talk with a former Lion with England honours, who is a Millwall record holder. He was due to join us last time, but a power cut disabled his IT equipment. Let's hope that's not the case tonight. First, we'll review the results from the beginning of February to now. Well, you know, we played Queen's Park Rangers and we talked about that game when we were on last, because it was Saturday the 1st of February. And it seemed to be where Millwall's fortunes were turning, as we defeated Queen's Park Rangers 2-1. Then we faced a desperate trip to Leeds United, where we thought it weren't going to happen. But I'm going to call upon a man that was on the spot, Henry Morgan, to explain to us what it was like and what happened.
Well, Eamonn, first of all, I'd say I thought it was going to happen. From the moment we pulled Leeds in the FA Cup, I thought that everyone, all of a sudden, after that game against QPR, more and more people went out and bought tickets, and it just had the feeling it was going to be one of those days. So, and I thought we played fantastically well. Sort of soaked up some early pressure from Leeds, hit them on the break. The fans were absolutely fantastic. Early start, from start to finish, fantastic performance. Aziz, for me, was one of several players who could have been man of the match. I thought Billy Mitchell was fantastic in that game, and he struggled at times. So, brilliant day out.
And of course, we mustn't forget the penalty saved by Roberts either.
Going down to his left-hand side. Yeah, and again, it was a soft penalty. I mean, you couldn't really see it from where we were sitting, because obviously we were at the other end of the ground. But when you look at the replay, 100% that was a soft penalty, so it got what it deserved. And really, Leeds were lacklustre on the day. They didn't really seem if they were coming or going, to be honest. They didn't really hold a lot of possession.
Perhaps the league was more in their floodlights than other
16
things.
Unbeaten, I think. 17 unbeaten now after the draw today.
You
so
know.
got them in a couple of weeks.
See if we can do it for 3 times this season. Yeah, that'd be great. And up came next the team that defeated Liverpool in the FA Cup, didn't they? Well, what did you think about that? Our 5-0 trial by... Well, yes, George, over to you.
All right, thanks for giving me the easy one, Eamonn. It was a little bit like after the Lord Mayor's show, really, wasn't it? You know, there's Henry talking about the Leeds game. We played so well. Plymouth, obviously, on a high after beating Liverpool. And you had to feel for Bryan. I mean, it was just rotten luck that he scores in his own goal. I mean, but yes, it wasn't a night. It wasn't the best night of the season for us. We seemed to struggle all the way through the team. I think we've done so well lately, we can allow them that one night. And yes, it was an hard evening. They were on a high. And as I say, it was very much like after the Lord Mayor's show.
Well, Phil Coleman said, we all went there and we thought, it's only Plymouth. They're going to be absolutely done after that 90 minutes plus extra time with Liverpool. And we thought we'd just turn up and win. But there's always two sides to a picture and a view. Next up, it was Jimmy's day at the Den when we welcomed the Mizzen family to, have that day that they do every year ever since poor Jimmy passed away. And it was great to see them come out on the pitch and the applause that they got from the fans, not only from Millwall but also from West Bromwich Albion. It was brilliant. And they raised some good money on the day. What about that game then, Jeff? How was it for you?
Well, I thought it was a well-deserved 1-1 draw. It was a struggle at times, but we'd made, I think, 4 or 5 changes for the Leeds game, and then we made changes back for the Plymouth game, and then again for West Brom. So it was a tough day. Obviously, whenever it's an emotional occasion like the Mizzen Day, there's always an extra element, isn't there, of tension in the air, and I think that showed on the day. But in the end, a well-deserved result, and let's bear in mind that West Bromwich are in the playoff zone and have been ever since.
Great stuff. It was a good game, I have to say, and we could have won that as well, but hey, the gods weren't with us on this one. But then we went midweek to Preston, where it was as cold as it goes. And what happened there then, Henry?
Preston, not one of the greatest footballing displays, I think, from either teams, to be honest, Eamonn. Fantastic free kick, very, very well taken. Very little other than that really happened in the first half, to be honest with you. I think when you've got this number of games coming one after another, we're playing Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday. I always remember Mark McGee talking about this and saying, it was always very difficult at this stage in the Championship if you're pushing on in the FA Cup or doing anything sort of out of the ordinary in terms of those competitions. Fixtures just back up, and I know we're going to talk about this, but you look at the next few fixtures that we got coming up this month, we got 6 or something like that in March. It's a struggle, and I think the fans that went up there, blimey, what loyalty that must be from them. I thought we did well because Preston equalised just before half time. I thought they looked like they were going to kick on and take the game by the scruff of the neck, but we managed to nullify that somehow, come back into the game and just sort of, I don't know, play out for the draw, really. I mean, maybe that's a bit harsh, but it looked to me like actually a Preston, a point at Deepdale is a good result.
It is a good result. But you've got to say that Ivanovic free kick, what a free kick that was, eh?
It was well hit, and I think, the other thing that I noticed, a lot of people were talking about that, the goalkeeper was, I think, slightly unsighted. Jensen got a lot of criticism, I think, online for his reaction time to the Preston goal, but I think, he hits it early, he's unsighted by a defender, and I think, he gets a lot of unnecessary criticism, in my opinion. And I think, again, the ball bounced just in front of him. He was unsighted, and it's difficult to do anything at this level. If you're hitting the ball like that, it's got swerve on it. It's a difficult thing to do. So, actually, 1-1 Preston, as I said, it's a great result.
Yeah, really, really, really good result. Jules, did you see the Derby County game, or were you playing bowls?
No.
No, you was here at Maritime Radio with me.
I was
on
indeed.
The Rock and Goal Show.
That's right.
Come on.
Yes. Giving Timmy an hard time, weren't we? Yeah.
Go on. Tell us the story.
Well, I thought for once that we were far superior in that game, to be honest. I thought we were the better team throughout. It was lovely having Coburn back after all these weeks. He missed that penalty, but there you go, or, whatever. But, he ends up getting a goal at the end, which I was very glad about. I thought that must have done his confidence a world of good. And, I thought it was a deserved win. I thought we looked the better team throughout the match. And, yes, I was well pleased with that game. And I thought we continued to play well as a team, actually.
Well, we did play well as a team in that game, and we showed that we can do what we need to do to get the results. And there's no doubt about that. And that was quite a gate, really. That was the second highest gate that we've had this month. We played against Leeds and had a 34,000, well, nearly 35,000 gate. And we went to Derby and there was a 28,321 gate. And then it brought us to today. Today at Selhurst Park, where we hadn't been for probably something in the region of 13 years. Is that right, Jeff?
So I seem to recall it's 12 years since we played there, maybe 13. But where do you start about a game like that? When we were all really excited about the game, I personally thought we were in with a great chance. I don't know why, I just felt we were. And, of course, all bets were off after 7 minutes with the red card for our goalkeeper. Alex Neil had preferred Liam Roberts to Lucas Jensen. I think he's played in both the previous cup rounds as well, if I'm not mistaken.
He was
I can stand corrected if that's not right. That's my recollection. It was a red card, I think, by today's standards, but I don't think it deserved the Crystal Palace chairman coming down to the front and complaining to the fourth official, or did it justify one well-known radio commentator advocating a 10-match ban for the player? I think there was no intention to foul, and I think that the Crystal Palace player was jostling with Cooper. That played a small part in the fact that there was contact between the boot of Roberts and the head of Mateta. Really sorry about that for Mateta, a player that's been in great form. We all hope he's up and well already as we speak tonight, and hopefully he'll be back for, if not the next game, which I think's in midweek, the game after that. I hope he is, and I personally wish him well.
That's good that you wish him well, because I think that's a feeling that's expressed by many fans, and also the Millwall Football Club too. Well, I brought a fan from Germany whose last game watching Millwall in the FA Cup was against Brighton at the Den, and we all thought we were going to go flying into the semi-finals to face Manchester City that day, but it all went totally wrong. Well, today we came in with, I thought, in a reasonable place to play the game. Was it going to be any different? But losing our goalkeeper earlier on, well, it took some pain without a doubt, and put us into an odd place. And what I want to do is now hand you over to Gordon, who's come from Germany, and he watched the game today. Gordon, you remember when we watched Millwall lose it out in a late goal down at Brighton? But how was it today for you?
Hello, everyone. Was a really good game today. The weather was also great. I enjoyed it very much to come here and to join some friends and see the game.
Well, that's good. What did you think about how Millwall did with 10 men?
They did very well, I think. The red card at the beginning was, I think, the neck breaker a little bit. They defended very well. Some minutes they struggled a bit, but after the half-time, they did it very well, and I think they could score a second goal, yeah. Yeah,
that was a good goal by Harding, though, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. Just before the half-time.
But the right time to do it. Well, thanks, Gordon. Lovely to have you back on here again. We'll try you next time you're back in London to watch the Lions. It'll be good fun. Anyhow, George, did you watch it on the Bowls Club or something like that?
I may have done, yes.
Okay. How was it for you?
We've been building up to this for weeks, haven't we, actually? And within 7 minutes, I think we all felt a bit deflated with what happened to the goalkeeper. And once that happens, it doesn't matter what side it happens to, it ruins the game, basically, doesn't it? So we were on, fighting against 11 men is very difficult, especially when you've got a good Premiership team like Palace, who are doing very well. I thought we played, once we regrouped a little bit, I thought especially the second half we gave a good account of ourselves, and I thought we were more than in with a chance when it was 2-1 to pull it back to 2-2.
It was a tough end.
Yeah, and I thought, and them getting that late goal, was a bit of a blow to us, but I thought generally the fellas did really well, and the crowd, it was a good day for the Lions to do as good as they were.
Henry, in 45 seconds, your thoughts?
My thoughts were, if Jensen starts in goal, he doesn't get sent off. I understand loyalty to the player who's played most of the games, and I respect that, but I think there's a bit of naivety there. There's a bit of, he hasn't played a lot of games, so he's come rushing out, and as soon as I saw the replay, I was like, he's been sent off. And I thought when Jensen came on, I thought he was very good. Kept us in the game that first half. Second half, we really gave it a good go, getting that, we didn't just come back into the game. We went toe-to-toe with them for 80 minutes, fantastic.
Well, that's very good, Henry, and I agree with that, very much so. We're now going to hand over to Kai Bennett, who's going to talk to us about the other teams that fit under the Millwall umbrella, under the Millwall Community Trust. Over to
Millwall Lionesses have played just 2 matches in the month of February. They were supposed to play Welling United twice in a friendly, but both got cancelled due to the state of the pitch. Since then, however, Millwall Lionesses have beaten Ashford United 3-1 at the Homeland Stadium, Kira Watling, Shalon Drew and Esme Johnson all on the score sheet, before beating Leatherhead 7-3, Kira Watling getting 4, Kayla Townsend getting 2 and Liv McGregor getting the 7th to secure a place in the League Cup semi-final. Millwall Lionesses under-18s have won 3 successive matches in the month of February. They started off the month by beating VCD Athletics 7-0 to progress to the London Cup final. They backed this up with a 4-3 win against Charlton Athletic before beating Heartland Girls Academy 4-0. Millwall Romans have had a full set of fixtures in February. They started off the month by beating East End Phoenix 11-1. They then lost 2-1 against Mersey Marauders in the GFSN Cup. It was an incredibly tight match, but the hosts won the fixture in the last couple of moments. Millwall Romans then drew 1-1 against London Titans before beating Charlton Valiants 5-2, where they head to the semi-finals of the London Unity League Cup. Millwall Pride have had 2 fixtures in the month of February. They lost 5-2 against Soho before beating London Titans the following weekend 5-0, and they'll be looking to continue that good form in March. Greenwich Powerchair Lions FC have also had 2 matches in the month of February. They started by beating Bournemouth 1-0 before drawing 0-0 against Farnham.
Well, there you go. After they drew 1-1 with Farnham. Right, I'm going to go over to Henry, the Lionesses. What do you think of their performance, particularly last week? Because I think you almost predicted that. Kira Watling, what a star.
Yeah, no, I had full confidence the whole time. 7-3 they won out in the end. So, yeah, fantastic victory. I think they've got Fulham tomorrow, which will be a tougher test for them. I know earlier in the season it was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, it is. Well, it was. But we'll do okay. I feel they're on a roll. And hopefully tomorrow, Kira, another 4 goals will do us a bound of good. They'd be brilliant. George, Millwall Romans and Pride, over to you, mate.
I'm blown away. I mean, recently we spoke to Paul, didn't we, on the show only recently. You know me, I'm a great supporter of Paul ever since he came to the club with the Romans. Having the Pride there now, I've just watched their progress with Pride as a Millwall fan, and having them under the Millwall umbrella to me is a real great achievement for our football club. And the way they've progressed and they've been run, I have nothing but the highest praise for them, and I wish them every success going forward. Yeah,
and they done well in the week. They managed to get a second place at the Metro Pride Awards in the midweek, and I was absolutely delighted for the Millwall Romans and the Romans in the East End who sponsored them. And it was that combination that got them the award that they got in the Metro Pride Awards. Next, it's over to Jeff, who's a familiar face to the Greenwich Powerchair Lions. Over you go to you, Jeff.
Well, I know that these players operate in a London league with other professional clubs. So I know Chelsea are in there. I think Arsenal are in there. But they're based in Woolwich, but for some reason they never got associated with their local league club. And eventually, after a long while, they've approached us, and Rhea Daly immediately agreed to sponsor them. They're still called Greenwich Powerchair Lions. Personally, I think they're not allowed to change names, are they?
No.
Mid-season. I think next season that will be a Millwall Powerchair team, and I think it's a great addition to our family of teams under the Millwall umbrella.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to listen to the head coach of the Greenwich Powerchair team later on in the show, and Rhea Daly will talk to us about what they do, where they do it, and what's happening for the future. But they're doing great, all these teams that operate under the Millwall Community Trust. There's a players' performance pathway which brings youngsters through that perhaps haven't got into our academy sides, and it really works very, very well. And there's some of those who actually get into our academy sides after they show what they can do under the player performance pathway. A really exceptional thing that the club puts in place. So we'll be back shortly. Bye for now.
This is Maritime Radio.
Hello, thank you for holding.co.uk.
In business, you don't want to keep your customers waiting. But when they are on hold, you have a target audience to talk to upsell your products and services.
And interesting audio greatly helps with caller retention too.
Thank you for holding.co.uk. Supply on-hold and auto-attendant messaging for all business and VoIP phone systems at a low one-off fee. There's no contract or ongoing monthly payment. To find out more, visit
thankyouforholding.co.uk.
New year, new career. Why not make 2025 the year that you make a difference? By becoming a Bexley foster carer, you can provide a safe, loving home to a child who needs it most. With full training, 24/7 support and a generous allowance, fostering isn't just rewarding, it's life-changing. Visit www.bexley.gov.uk/fostering or give us a call on 0203 045 4400. Start your fostering journey with Bexley today.
Receive it, store it, deliver it. In the warehouse, on the road, on the app. Muztrans for storage and delivery solutions you can rely on. In Belvedere, Dartford and Medway. With over 12 acres of external storage and more than 250,000 square feet of internal warehousing, whatever your storage requirements, we've got the space. With our new app, you can track your collections and deliveries every step of the way. See muztrans.com or give us a call on 0208 320 7602.
Maritime Radio, Community Line.
Hello everyone, my name is Susanna. I'm the CEO of Mama to Mama Baby Bank Woolwich. We are dedicated to supporting families in our community with essential items for their little ones because no one child should go without the basics they need to thrive. We can't do this alone. It's your generosity and support that makes this possible. If you would like to help us make an even greater impact, please visit our website at mamatomama.org.uk or connect with us on social media. Every donation, no matter how small, helps a family in need. Together, we can create a stronger, more compassionate community for everyone. Thank you for being part of this journey with us.
Local radio for Greenwich. Maritime Radio. Community Line.
This is Maritime Radio.
The Millwall Community Trust is located at the Lions Centre, Ballina Road, London SE16. Each year it delivers a wide range of football and sports development programmes to thousands of young people from toddler soccer to professional pathway across different ages, genders and abilities. Check out the Millwall Community Trust website.
Thanks, Bethany. Well, I'm Eamonn Barclay and with me I have the team of panel Jeff, Burnige, George Lampey and Henry Morgan. And he was last but not least. But next up, we've got Millwall goalkeeper Bryan King. Are you there, Bryan?
Good evening, folks. Good evening. How are you?
It's great to have you on. It's great to have you. Some people are scowling, but I won't name them, okay?
I bet one of them's George.
Oh, it could be.
It was me, Brian. Yeah, you're right.
I saw his reaction in the week.
You did. Yes, when you appeared on the goalkeeper number ones at the Den alongside some of your colleagues. Yeah, how did you find that evening?
I found it very enjoyable. I was pleased so many people turned up and it was nice to see some friendly faces around. Enjoyed the 4 or 5 generations of goalkeepers, really. I mean, it's such a vast change from when I started to when Andy Marshall played in the cup final and is currently the Millwall goalkeeper coach.
That's right.
So, I mean, the differences in our equipment, gloves and pitches we played on and the type of training we done. Of course, when I started, there were no goalkeeper coaches, but when I listen to goalkeeper coaches today, I think there's a lot of talking. They don't seem to work on the basics, a lot of them. I'm not saying Andy's in that.
Well, Andy's here. He's not here, but he's listening tonight, he told me. So, well, that was good you got that in. Yeah.
Listen, only tell the truth on that part about goalkeeper training or goalkeeper coaches.
Yes.
We had to coach ourselves, but I had very good help with a fellow called Laurie Leslie and Alex Stepney who were always supportive, and that helped me. And when I finished playing and went into goalkeeper coaching, that was something I took on with the people I work with, and always enjoyed it working with keepers and watching goalkeepers.
Well, you enjoyed lots of other things too. I mean, you were twice over the Players Football Association goalkeeper for our side, and that was in the years 73, 74 and 74, 75, which is quite an incredible thing. The only player that got anywhere close to you over the years was Tim Cahill, who got it twice over as well. Tell me, and Alex Ray, sorry, I've just remembered, he was there too. What did you feel about getting the PFA into the PFA side?
Well, it was something that was totally new for us. It started, I think it was the first year when I got in it.
Yeah.
But when you see the names and the players that are in the teams from the then First Division, Second Division, Third and Fourth, I mean, a lot of good players. I mean, the Second Division side, or both the teams I got picked for, were filled with household names at that time.
Yeah.
And it was a great honour for me representing Millwall. It's not only Bryan King getting in this, I wouldn't have got in it if I hadn't played for Millwall. And I always regard it as an honour for the football club and also myself.
It was, and it was a tremendous thing to do. I'm going to hand you over to someone who was dear to the club in different ways, but perhaps not on the pitch. Jeff is going to speak to you now.
Certainly not on the pitch, Eamonn. Good evening, Brian. It's lovely to have you with us this evening.
Good evening, Jeff.
I was also at that number ones evening, and good job it wasn't our right backs that we got all together. That would have sounded strange. But I'd just like to say that amongst the money that was raised that night for the Community Trust, a large sum was raised by your good self signing copies of your brilliant autobiography, The Lion's King. Well done for that.
And Jeff's giving away a copy of that to anyone that comes online to us over the next week and tells us where Bryan went to after he left Millwall. We'll say no more about that. Back to you, Jeff.
Brian, were you able to watch the game against Palace this afternoon?
I was indeed.
And what did you make of it? What were your comments?
Well, funnily enough, somebody sent me a programme just before the game started from 1967 when Millwall played at Palace. That was November 1967. It was Brian Conlon's first game for Millwall. And on it, the score was 2-2. A fella called Tommy White scored twice for Palace. Brian Conlon, I think Georgie Jacks might have scored one apiece. And I was also told there were 42,500 people at that game. Great atmosphere. Both sides had some very good players playing on the day, and I thought it was going to be that kind of atmosphere. Maybe not that amount of people there, but it looked a good atmosphere. It was a lovely day. FA Cup 5th round. Both sides lined up. We're expecting a tough game for Millwall because Palace are in a very, very good period. And then we had this incident in the first 6 or 7 minutes, which really changed the course of the game. And unfortunate for us, we lost our goalkeeper. And unfortunate for Palace, they lost their star centre forward. I've been hearing a lot of comments about this incident, and some of them are not well thought out. Because if anybody can prove to me that when that boy set off and saw that ball coming through the middle and Cooper and Matak chasing it, that he had the intention of going out and putting that centre forward into hospital, I'd like to see the proof, because that boy had the furthest thing away from his mind was injuring anybody. The unfortunate thing was the angle of the ball, the centre forward pushed Cooper, which moved him and Cooper a little bit. As the boy went for the ball, he got the ball. Unfortunately, the kind of clearance that he made was going to carry him on, and somebody, and again, unfortunately, it was the Palace centre forward who took the challenge, which looked absolutely shocking at the time. But where could he go? Where could the goalkeeper go? It was one of those, he got to the thing that he was looking for, and to get to was the ball, which he made contact with. What happened afterwards was a terrible accident, and for anybody to blame him intentionally in any shape or form of a horrible tackle or a dangerous tackle, then I think they want to look at themselves in the mirror and just rearrange what words they're going to come out with, because there was no intention of injuring that centre forward when that boy set off to clear that situation. That I will guarantee. I played there, I've seen the situation, I've been on the receiving end of things like that, and I can tell you, you've just got to get on with the game. And unfortunately, one player had to go to hospital, and I hope, all my heart, I hope that he recovers and he continues to play and score goals like he has been doing all season.
Great words, Bryan, absolutely great words, and I think you summed that up better than anybody that we heard on the media at all whatsoever today. I'm going to hand you over to George now, who's got another question for you.
Hello, Bryan.
George, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to see you Thursday night. It was a great evening.
And you, mate?
A question that came up Thursday evening, actually. Lots of people asking you what was your most memorable game for the Lions?
Well, I think a lot of people always say to me that the Everton game, when we played them in the fifth or the fourth round of the FA Cup, up at Everton, on an iconic pitch against an iconic club. And I think that was the best first half, certainly the first half, when Everton really had a go at us, and people said we could have been 5 or 6 goals down. Dear old Bill Kenwright, God rest him, when I worked for Everton, always said to me that it was the finest goalkeeper performance he'd ever seen at Goodison Park. And I think those first 45 minutes I had 6 or 7 really good saves, what I would say were really good saves. And there's still the start of the game, which is used on the big match. And it's great to hear Brian Moore and Gerald Sinstadt remarking that's, I think the statement after the first 2 saves was, that's why they say Brian King is the best goalkeeper outside the First Division. And
true.
Well, it was nice to hear that, but I would say that was my best game. But you know, the most important game for me was always my league, the first league game I played against Blackpool, coming out to that wonderful atmosphere at the Old Den, and over 20,000. We were playing the top of the league team at the time, Blackpool, and that will always be an important game for me.
Tremendous stuff, Bryan. And it was a game that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I can say one that is so memorable in my mindset. I'm going to hand you over to Henry now. Henry.
Bryan, evening, mate.
Good evening.
You, like Phil Coleman, been at the forefront of a Formers Player Association at Millwall. Can you give us an update on it and just sort of let us know what your reasoning is behind why you want that to happen?
Well, it was, you know, I'm also a member of the Former Players Association up at Coventry City, and whenever I've been up there, and funnily enough, dear old Jeff accompanied me on one of the occasions when they're playing Millwall. And the things they do for former players is amazing. And former players associations in most clubs, this is something we should have done 25 years ago as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of my contemporaries and players I played with have passed away. It must happen now. It must happen this year. Millwall are going to be celebrating their 140th year as a football club, and they feel it through meetings with Eamonn, myself, and Sean Daly. We put this idea together, and Sean Daly presented it to the football club, Mark Fairbrother, and the board have seemingly okayed it. So we're going to probably move on. Sean asked both myself and Les Briley if we would be the figureheads or the ambassadors for it, or the presidents of it, whatever you want to call. And we both agree to that. It's just going to be now of getting the nod from the football club and announcing it, and then trying to get in touch with as many former players as we can and start our Former Players Association and try and project it as many other clubs are are projecting their former players' associations.
That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, Brian. You're exactly right with what's happening and where's it at. We're hoping that we'll know just before the season starts that'll come into place. And I look forward to you and Les taking that forward as the joint presidents, and we'll see what other players will join us in making that happen. It will be a really great thing, not only for the club but the players that have gone before, and there'll be plenty of opportunities to help support and do whatever needs to be done there. I really feel that that's the way it's going. Well, it's never enough time on Maritime Radio to speak to you forever, but I've got one final question. It's great to speak to you as always, but don't be shy. You will be honoured along with others. I can name two, and I'll give him a shout out. Stan Godwin, and the other one, Gianluca Sardi. Yes, the pair of them are going to be with you next Tuesday night at the Bristol City fixture. What's that all about?
Well, I got an email from Sean at the Community Trust to inform me that the EFL every year select a game, and the EFL then receive a list of names, as I understand it, from the Community Trust of a football club, be it Millwall. Those names are put forward, and I believe they've been okayed by the EFL, and Sean sent me the email saying that I would be, or congratulations, that you will be honoured to receive one of the community awards, that's services to Millwall Football Club and also to the different areas around Millwall Football Club. As I've always said, I've been in the game now 64 years, as nearly every kind of position in football, and I've never ever lost touch with Millwall since I first came in '67, and I still haven't, and I still won't until the day I die. I feel I have a need to put things back for people living in that area, and certainly for people who supported me as a footballer. And it was a surprise to me that I got the email, and again I feel very humble about it. So I look forward to Tuesday night.
And we'll look forward to seeing you out there on the pitch with those other two characters that are very dear to us. And I'm sure, without a doubt, that Stan will remind you of one player that you often forget when you're talking about Millwall, George Jacks.
Correct. And he's on the programme, by the way, that the guy who sent me the programme from 1967, George Jacks, was on that programme.
Well, there you go, Stan. If you're listening, you'll feel good about that, without a doubt. Right, finally, Brian, just a quick one. I know you come to us for about £5,000. You departed from us on about 57, was it, to Coventry?
Well, there was a little bit of a tricky deal at the time because I was your testimonial at Millwall. I think Jeff's father was...
wasn't Jeff then? No.
Well, it was Jeff's father who informed me through Gordon Jago that there were two clubs interested to buy me. They wanted to raise the money. They wanted to bring in new players. And apparently I was the only one they could get any money for at the time for some reason. But I must have been a cut price deal. But the original fee was $75,000, of which I would then receive a percentage for my testimonial. And the official money that Millwall received was $57,000. So I believe everybody was happy with that. And I then had a testimonial match at the end of the season, when Coventry City came down to play Millwall.
That's right.
Just before the cup final. And my dear friend Gordon Hill actually kicked it off. Spent about half an hour at the Den on Friday night, then went and played in the cup final against Southampton on Saturday.
That weren't bad, old Gordon Hill doing that. No.
So you know, I was very appreciative of Gordon for doing it, and as I say, I'm in the record books for my testimonial. It was the only one that was abandoned after 80 minutes because of the pitch invasion.
Well, you can't beat pitch invasions at the Den, Brian.
No, and the Coventry players said, we were glad to get off alive. I said, you didn't have to worry, you'd have got off alive. You might have lost a few things, but you'd have definitely got off alive.
Brian, as usual, brilliant to talk to you. There's so much more we could have asked, said, done, talked about, but you always bring such interesting stories to us. We're going to say goodbye for now, and good luck, and I'll be shouting there on Tuesday night along with Jeff when you go and get your award from the EFL and Millwall Community Trust. Bye for now.
Well, I look forward to see you all, and all the best, Jeff, Henry, George,
Brian.
Eamonn. Have a good night.
Good night, Brian. Good night, mate.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, that was Brian King. What a wonderful chap. Good to speak to him and good to talk on. I think we've got a clip from Bethany.
The Millwall Community Trust runs over 100 football multi-sports courses, run during every school holiday and vary from a week to 3 days and even 1 day. The day runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and is open to boys and girls for all abilities aged 5 to 13. Check out the Millwall Community Trust website.
We are Maritime Radio.
Maritime Radio. Maritime Radio.
You could travel the world in search of the finest flavours, or you could look closer to home. At Panas Gurkha Restaurants, we're dedicated to delivering delectable dishes from both Nepal and India. Winner of the Asian Curry Awards Nepalese Restaurant of the Year 2024, why not dine in with us? Or enjoy a top-notch takeaway with our menu classics, or maybe try some of our exhilarating new dishes. Along with our exceptional menu, we pride ourselves on supporting the local community through charitable efforts. Panas Gurkha Restaurants. Come and see us in Blackheath, Hither Green and Falconwood, and online at thepanas.co.uk.
With the change in seasons, it's always good to have a hearty cuppa. Whether at home, work or out and about, a cup of Drury's finest tea or coffee will bring you that warm, comforting feeling. Drury's a family-run business that's been expertly blending specialist tea and coffee since 1936. Local residents that use Drury Tea and Coffee's click and collect service from their Royal Arsenal premises automatically qualify for a discount. What's not to love about a heartwarming brew from Drury Tea and Coffee? Find out more at shopdrury.com.
Maritime Radio.
Our Millwall Community Trust Lions Centre has a 4G football pitch where 9 versus 9 can play, a sports hall, classrooms and a cafe. To access these state-of-the-art facilities in a safe and positive environment, get in touch on 0207 740 0503.
Thanks again, Bethany. Wonderful to hear you. I'm Eamonn Barclay, and with me tonight on the panel is Jeff Burnige, George Lampey and Henry Morgan. You've heard a lot about our Millwall Community Trust over the programme so far, and some of the things they do. They make a fantastic difference to the communities that they serve. And talking of communities, here is the background to one that it supports a Football for All initiative for those with different abilities. The Millwall Community Trust actually supports the Greenwich Powerchair Lions Football Club with kits and fundraising. The club is run by a small charity, London Special League, who aim to improve people's health and well-being through sport. The club provides weekly coaching sessions for learner skills of powerchair football. The sessions are initially free to attend. Well, who we have tonight is the head coach of the club, and that's Rhea Daly, who herself has been recognised through the London Football Awards for her work in this field. Welcome to Maritime's Millwall News and Views show, Rhea.
Hello, thanks for having me on.
Well, we're delighted to have you on, and thanks for coming on. Rhea, we've had feedback following the scores from the Powerchair Lions Football Club being mentioned in our previous show. For the listeners, please could you explain how this happens?
Okay, so you have different Powerchair football clubs from around the country, and they're separated into different regions. So we participate in the South East Regional League. We meet up 5 times a year at a set base, and each team gets to play 2 games against 2 other teams within their league.
When they play the Powerchair game, what equipment have they got?
So they have electric power chairs with extra bumpers around the outside for protection, and an extra large ball, played on a 5-a-side football pitch as 4 instead of 5. and the team to score the most goals.
Sounds reasonable for football as well. I'll go with that last bit, score the more goals. So how much does it cost and who can join?
So Powerchair football is open to anyone unable to participate in mainstream football. Children can start as young as 6, as long as they're able to respond correctly. There's no age limit. To get in with Greenwich Powerchair Lions, at the moment we have a fee of £150 for the year. However, we do give a 3-week trial to make sure that you like the sport and you want to play for us before obviously committing that amount of money towards us.
Well, that sounds like good value and a good initiative to let people have a try.
Sometimes 1 week ain't enough.
That's right, absolutely. I believe you got one of the guys there who was in the team and he's now a coach. Tell us a little bit about him.
He certainly is. So we got Carl Alexandra. He actually joined when he was 6 years old.
Wow.
And he, as far as I'm aware, is the youngest and first black player to represent England. At the age of 16, he went over to America and represented England in the World Cup.
Absolutely brilliant to hear that. I hear your venue is changing. What's the story at this time?
It certainly is. A little bit behind schedule. However, the new venue in Woolwich is finally getting there and it should be opening in the autumn of this year. And we hope for a swift move across to the new venue where everything will carry on as it's led off.
And of course, you're at the waterfront venue at the moment, yeah?
We certainly are. So it'll just be the other side of the high street in the main square of Woolwich.
Wonderful. How can people get in touch with you?
They're more than welcome to contact me. I have an email at rdaly.slsl@hotmail.com. That's rdaly.slsl@hotmail.com.
Hopefully the listeners will pick that up and you'll have, well, the emails ringing.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing from people and welcoming them to our sessions.
Let's be hopeful. Rhea, thanks for joining us and
thank you for having me.
Carry on doing the great job that you do. Well, Rhea Daly definitely does a great job in taking all of that forward and the people are immensely proud of her and as I said, she won a London Football Award for that not that long ago. Anyhow, we're going to have a look now at our forthcoming fixtures for March. And as it was mentioned earlier, we've got an overload, really. We've got Bristol City, which we'll talk about briefly in a minute. Then we've got Watford for a 12:30 p.m. kickoff yet again over at Watford. Then we'll play Leeds United for the 3rd time this season at Leeds. Well, away. Strangely enough, that's at 7:45. Very difficult to get back from Leeds at 7:45 kickoffs. It don't exist unless you've booked in at a travel lodge.
Or drive.
Or drive, yeah. Then we got Stoke City at 12:30. Now, that's our community day at the Den, which unfortunately has required the Community Trust to change all their play on how they were going to do it because the broadcasting organisations decided they wanted an early game for that one. So get down the Den for the Stoke game and it's our community day. And last but not least, another away game at Sunderland. That's a 3 p.m. kickoff. That's amazing, really. They're very far and few between these days, but it'll be a good game to watch, see, go and do. Anyway, I'm going to go over and talk to George, who's very familiar with Bristol City and what they do and they don't do. What are you looking forward to about this game?
Well, I'm looking forward to the meal I have on Tuesday night, but that's while I'm at the stadium.
There we go.
Yeah, I see Henry's happy at that, but he appreciates my jokes anyway. This is the rearranged fixture, isn't it, if I remember rightly?
Well, it would have been today had we not beaten Leeds.
So that's come round pretty quickly. They're doing quite well. They're 9th in the league, so they're only 4 points above us. So this should be quite a good game Tuesday night. I'm looking forward to it. you never get an easy game against Bristol City, so yes, it should be a good game, and we're going to have the boys on the pitch as you were talking about earlier on.
That's right, all our community champions.
Yeah, so it should be quite a nice evening, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Watford Fulhams away on Saturday the 8th of March. Are you going to that one, Henry?
Yeah, possibly.
Right.
Well, I don't know yet. It's M25. Look, it's a tricky game. I think, again, we could have beaten them first game of the season, wasn't it?
Well, we should have beaten them.
Yeah, and then we got back to 2-2, and then we just had a concentration slip and let them take the game away from us again and lose 3-2. But looking at this month overall, it's actually quite a tough month. Leeds are up there, Watford there or thereabouts. Sunderland away is a difficult fixture. I think the only one that looks like one that we might be able to battle our way into is that Stoke game. But it's going to be a tough ask at Vicarage Road. But obviously, it's a bit of a spiritual place for some of us who were there that day that Neil Harris scored the goal. So there's always a bit of magic in the air at Vicarage Road for me.
Magic in the air, and if we're in a green kit, well, it brings it all together, doesn't it?
There we go, yeah.
You never know. Hey, and on March the 8th, that's just a little bit before St Patrick's Day, so don't forget. Jeff, Leeds, you're very fond of Leeds games, and there's many memories of the past. Are we going to make it 3 wins in the spin?
I think we are. I really believe we are. But they weren't too clever today, I don't think, this afternoon. Did they not drop points at home today? They certainly only drew.
West Brom, they only drew.
You're right.
Look, they don't like playing against us because our record in recent years is amazing there. I think we've won as many games, if not more, against them than they've won against us. Out the last 10, which is incredible. It's certainly about par. So I'm hoping and expecting another good performance. The only thing I would say is that because of our cup run, we're playing Bristol City on Tuesday when they've had a day off today. Yeah. Then we're playing Watford on Saturday when they haven't had to play in midweek. So we're getting it tough with that cup run. Leeds is the midweek, Wednesday the 12th. Wednesday for some reason. I just have a strong feeling that Leeds do not like playing against Millwall, and I'm going for a 3rd win out of 3 against them this season.
Wonderful stuff, Jeff. Absolutely wonderful stuff. How about Stoke City, the one that Henry has forecasted, George, that could be our winner?
Well, I'm glad Henry's happy with things like that. I think, as Henry said, that is the one shining light in the entire month, because I think it's a very hard month indeed. Yeah. And if you're going to get anything, I think that is the one result that we should be looking at. They're not doing very well in the league, at the moment, although I'm always surprised at that because they're a very rich club, Stoke. It's at home, it's early kick-off, as you said, 12:30. I think that's one that we should really be concentrating on 3 points.
Good, and I think we've done the wrap on Sunderland. We know it's going to be a tough game, but we went there last season and amazingly got the result. So why not let's see us do that game? Anyway, if you want to watch the Lions, tickets are available on the Millwall FC website or in person from the Den box office. Check the website for complete details. The Den is a short walk from South Bermondsey Station, a 4-minute transfer from London Bridge. Well, it ain't hard, and it ain't hard to get there, so you can give that a go. Now, tomorrow, we mustn't forget that we've got the Millwall Lionesses at 1:30 at our sports ground, St Paul's at Rotherhithe, in a semi-final for the League Cup. And let's listen to Jordan Butler, the club captain, now.
I'm Jordan Butler, Millwall Lionesses team captain. Will you join me in listening to the Millwall News and Views show on Saturday evening at 8 p.m. on Maritime Radio, 96.5 FM or on their website?
Well, lovely, Jordan, and thank you for doing that. I know you're a busy woman, but be good tomorrow, and you Lionesses come home and get to that cup final. It will be absolutely brilliant. Lastly, we will return on April the 5th, which is the first Saturday of April, with our monthly Millwall News and Views show. Thanks to my co-host, who's not here tonight.
Hi, Kelly Maloney here. Yes, I am a Millwall fan and former manager of Lennox Lewis, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Will you, like me, listen to Maritime Radio 96.5 FM on Saturday at 8 p.m. for all the Millwall news and views, or you can listen to it on the Maritime Radio website.
Well, you can, and I wasn't calling you in there, Kelly, just remember that. Anyway, I'm going to say thanks to our panellists, Jeff.
Good night, everybody.
Good.
Still awake.
George.
Good night, everyone.
And Henry.
Good night, everyone.
And thanks to Gordon for coming in and sharing a little bit of time for us on his trip over from Germany.
Thank you very much, and good night, everyone.
Good night.
It's lovely, isn't it? You can't beat it.
Got a lovely accent there.
Yes. How can you beat? Even Jeff can understand it. So that is pretty good. Well, there's
German on the way.
A very little time for us to linger with you. In fact, I think what we'll do is just say a few little thoughts. Will we, won't we, see in the top end of our team on Tuesday night? Will it be Ivanovic or will it be Coburn?
Ivanovic.
Yeah, I think Ivanovic will play on Tuesday.
Because Coburn started today.
Oh, they do it like that now?
I don't know.
Okay,
That's what I would say. Also, he ran himself into the ground today. He made a lot of decent runs.
He did do.
The ball up. He did a lot of that today.
He didn't have a lot of support though today. No. When we were down to 10 minutes, it was a difficult game for him to play.
As soon as Cunley came off, that was it really.
That was it. That was it. That was the person that went, and we were snookered there.
You had to feel sorry for Luke Cundle.
Yeah,
because we had to bring a goalkeeper on.
You have to sacrifice someone.
You do. Yeah. I think we did have to sacrifice someone. Anyway, guys, wonderful evening. Great to have you all here. Look forward to April the 5th when we'll be back once again.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good one. No.
Is Maritime Radio.